He knew every eye that was on him. He knew, he felt the complete change.
Just so you go.
He's wondering what this is all about in here.
2 hands on you.
And was absolutely petrified of being caught, petrified around people.
It's great for people to see that he will not give up his hindquarters. Forward as it be. He's got a search here.
If a guy went near him, he would absolutely freak out. Tiny's having a bit of a relax, and said, why don't you do the video? So I'm doing it now. And that's the view. We're in a hotel that we stay in quite often, and to be honest, the weather hasn't been absolutely brilliant. But it's only a 3 full day break. It's a day travelling each way, but yeah. So I think we're gonna have some nice weather this afternoon. Oh my life! What have you? Oh, you didn't tell me you're putting nuts on there, Tanya.
Cheers.
Happy birthday, Tan. But yeah, usually it's seagulls, isn't it, Tan? They come and get these nuts. That's what they did yesterday. It's all the seagulls, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'll get on with the video, and just to let you know where we are. Fuengirola in Spain on the Costa del Sol, down by Malaga. Flying to Malaga. It's only a 2-hour flight, and
He's eating more.
is he? Hey, hey. Hey. Right then, I'll crack on. What do you want already?
Adios.
Adios. Salvesa Grande.
No, no grande.
Yeah. See. And those were the seagulls starting to come there, guys. They started to get too many, actually. We had to shoo them off. But this video is quite an interesting half an hour. I didn't have long with this horse. It's going back to when I was in Texas a few weeks ago. And I was at Spirit Run Equine with Stephanie Powers, Angela, who runs the Spirit Run Equine facility in Tyler, Texas. And that's who you can see here. That's Angela. She's an amazing horsewoman in her own right. You know, I learnt a lot from her, different various issues with older horses and feeding certain horses, and just generally she really knows what she's doing. I think there's about 35-40 horses there, but during one of the breaks we had with Mr. Big, Angela just mentioned a horse that had recently, I mean, I think about a week and a half, that's the horse you can see here. It's, I mean, I can't remember the horse's name, but I'll call him Pinto for now because he reminds me of a Pinto. But basically this horse hadn't been there long and was absolutely petrified of being caught, petrified around people. If a guy went near him, he would absolutely freak out, and just said, asked, could I just cast my eye, not do anything particular, but cast my eye and see if there's anything I can pick up that might help her, in the near future to try and rehabilitate this horse. And that's what this video is. I do actually go hands-on with the horse a little bit. I found the horse very interesting, but not surprisingly, there was a particular problem which surfaced very quickly. So it is an interesting video, and I hope you maybe get something from it. Now, I did ask why the horse was there, and it's one of these genuine abuse cases. The horse was badly abused. It was used for some sort of racing. I don't know whether trap racing or, but it was raced, and it really was abused. So that's why the horse is there. Anyone wondering, and we do have a lot of messages about Mr. Big. Mr. Big, it's only been a few weeks and he's doing so well, guys. There will be an update in a couple of months, I think. Angela's going to do some video of Mr. Big, and the future's looking great for him. I think he's going to end up being like a mascot for the rescue centre. That's what I think will happen, and people can go and pet him and eventually things like that. So it'll just show what can be done. But in all fairness, I don't think it'll involve a lot of treating him by hand, because what's happened is Angela's had to stop that because very quickly Mr. Big started getting dangerously playful around her and into her space, because obviously hand reward, it started to have a different meaning to him. So that's had to stop. And Angela did have to use her flag a few times for about space, but now that's stopped, things are getting really good again. So yeah, really interesting, and there will be an update on Mr. Big. I understand everything you've just said, and everything's a symptom of a cause, without a doubt. That, when you move that then, he came alive and you could see tension in him. So catching him with that it's going to be a long time before you can swing. You can catch him with that.
Catch him
you
with
just
the rope.
ruined that.
It's not easy. It's not easy. It's traumatizing.
It's not easy.
Yes.
Traumatizing.
Yes.
The fact that you've been able to catch him holding that is wonderful. But what I was going to say to us, and I carry these all the time.
Yes.
Horsemanship string. Do you know what those are? You've seen those. They've got a little splice in the end. So these, it's kind of, I hate, especially with my own horses after a while, cheating them into being caught. So eventually you want to just be able to use that. But that being in your back pocket, they can't, he'll look for hands. And then when you've caught him and rubbed him, then you can just kind of, that's what I use.
That is, that tool is amazing, especially when they run from a halter.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. And if it's a long way to the barn, when I was younger and I could get on a bareback horse, then you can ride them up with it or whatever, you know. But yeah, so that's what I would suggest you use. But if you can do it, do you want to try with that? But the fact that we're all watching, it might be harder to catch than usual.
What I'd rather do is approach him like, because where I am with him right now is I'm not taking the lead rope.
You're not? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I don't take the lead rope to him. I catch him because I'm trying to relearn him that it's not a bad experience. It's
being caught.
So I've taken the lead rope away and I'm getting ready to reintroduce it. But I just don't feel like I'm there yet.
Okay.
But I can show you.
Do you want that in your hand?
No, not really.
No.
No?
Not if I'm normally catching
So do you want that in your back pocket?
No.
I can, or I can walk him over here.
She just wants to walk him as she does.
You do that. You do
I'll
it
bring
as you
him
want
to
to
you
do.
and you clip him.
Right.
Maybe, if he likes you.
He's watching us, so I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of avoids you more than usual.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be
Don't
super.
walk towards them. Just let... So he's only been here 2 weeks and he's come from quite an abusive, but he knows something's up there. I knew that. He knew every eye that was on him. He knew. He felt the complete change. This is why I think Mr. Big is going to be so much better when we're not all here. I honestly. Tanya always mentions to me about dates and things we've got going on. So, Tanya, come on. You did a great job last video. What have we got going on? So I don't have to mention it. See, Tanya doesn't have to write it down like me. I have to write everything down.
Okay,
Right,
March.
Okay. Yeah.
Billericay 16th.
Right. Okay.
Demo in Essex.
How's that going?
Really well. That's
right. It'll be a busy
a
one
lot of
again.
tickets gone for that.
Right. Okay.
Obviously the ranch day is on the 22nd of June.
We're on June
Not
1.
announced yet because we've sold a lot of tickets and
Yeah.
also a lot of people from last year go to next year.
Okay. Yeah.
That's great. And we may have a possible date for North Carolina with Linda. She said to us it could, pretty certain it's going to be the 11th of May.
That's not long.
No, we're not taking any tickets yet because she's got to just finalise one more thing.
Right. Okay.
So, but it's looking like it's the 11th of May.
Right. Okay. That'll be confirmed.
North
pretty soon.
Carolina.
Brilliant. Okay.
And back to Linda and Danny, and then you're going to use hopefully Sammy and Cooper.
Yeah. That'll
the
be.
demo?
I'm gonna. Yeah. That'll be.
Our first ever demo in the USA.
Wow, Tan.
I get so many messages saying, we've heard you mention it, when's it going to be?
Yeah.
So it is hopefully
And-
the 11th of May.
And Linda's really good at organising.
Oh,
isn't
Linda's
she? That's what
fantastic.
she's done all her life,
Absolutely,
so.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Babs.
Actually, I can't wait to go back.
Okay, thank you. Be a different job.
Maybe. That's lovely hay, isn't it? There's no dust. I checked that out. There's no dust out.
No dust. I don't smell so good.
Now, do you see what was really good? What Angela just done? Do you know he said no with his head? He looked away. She stopped.
Yeah.
She stopped.
And I think that's a really good thing to show there, guys. As Angela goes towards Pinto, he looks away right there, and Angela stops and waits for him to reassess situation and look at it. And he'll notice that she noticed.
And then he said, I recognise that you stopped. And then he looked towards her and said, okay. You could read that in him, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
Now things might be a bit close. So she backed off there. She listened to that. That was brilliant. That was brilliant.
Are we prepared to for where he's going?
I've got to open that in a sec, but she wants me to clip on now.
Oh, okay.
That was brilliant what you just done. I was just explaining that you got close, then he said no. So you said, I heard that, I listened, and then you quit. And he told you he was ready, didn't he? Do you agree? Am I reading that right with you?
Mm-hmm.
When he looked away, if you'd have carried on, he was gone. So that, you saw that. And then he said, okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So would you say it's more than likely been guys that's dealt with him?
I would guess yes.
Yeah.
And he's huffy, but he's very expressive. I do think that he was probably, just because of his behavior and how he poops, I think he was probably late cut as a stud.
Oh, right, okay. But he hasn't struck out or
no,
anything
no,
like that?
No, but I
in
think
his
that's
ears?
why he's huffy. You know how they get blowy, starts to blow.
Yeah.
I think that's natural.
And how old is he, do you know?
I think he's 16.
16. Oh,
Ish.
16.
Whoa.
okay. Right, yeah, we'll take him in the round pen. I'll lead him round in there and just...
I'll get the bucket and I'll get the gate for you. That way you got-
he's getting blowy.
Yeah, that just so you got
He's wondering what this is all about in here.
2 hands on him.
So, what I would say, which might surprise you, it might not. I'll wait till you. Often with these horses that are quite, he's very jumpy around me.
This is more valuable than that phone call. I know.
Yeah, he is not connected to me at all. He's more concerned with everything else. His heart's racing like I don't know what. So yeah, what I'm representing to him is symptoms of a cause. This ain't normal. But I find with horses that are like this, and it does surprise a lot of people, I kind of start being a little bit less bashful than some might be around him. As in, the more I get respect of my space and he stops if I stop, very quickly they start to settle a little bit more than me being a little bit, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's what I find they respect you more if you do insist on a little bit of, I know you're frightened, but you still don't bump through me. And the next stage then is getting control of the feet and not looking at him. I find eventually, yes, but I will just try and think about his feet here. So what I'll start with, so I'm going to step my foot back. He stopped beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a little step back from me. I'm tending to give him a little bit more space than some people would. What are you thinking?
No, we've got a little.
An audience
We've got an
behind
audience behind you.
His feet here. Right, that's better. Okay. There you go. Tell him how good he is. There we go. Where's the audience? The dogs.
Yeah, one's left. Said, "Oh, no, I don't think so." Oh no, he's
That
got.
was amazing.
So I'll just check that
Look how
again.
that's straight.
I'm in the eye more that he's usually been used to start with. Can he stop? Yeah, he can stop. That's good. So we'll just check out. Look, he's put me in the eye. He's put me in this eye. So it's something that you do need to be aware of a little bit. usually, you said he's been ridden. So, the places that he's put me in the eye again. So, he's extremely high-headed and worried. I'm going to go on the other side now and just check, right? So, look, you see how he's arranged?
Yes.
Look,
Yeah.
keep me out of it.
Flipping you. Yeah.
This is just something you might not have noticed.
I
As
didn't.
yeah, well, I'm telling you, it's now he's a little bit close there. You see how quick now I can ask him, come on, yeah. If you spook accidentally from something over there, I'm going to get hurt. So I need him a little bit out of my way. Guaranteed, a part of this problem, and it's so common. I get kind of bored telling people when I go, oh, because it's so often. One thing, the most common problem is rewarding with hand treats constantly. And even giving the hand treat as they're leaning and going forward, that leads to the worst behaviour imaginable with a lot of horses. Not all, but I like horses to get on their hocks, unweight their front. Doesn't matter.
I can.
They're your pack.
No.
Oh, they're not your pack. That's great to see.
They're awful. They attack everything.
Oh.
They kill everything.
If
Hey, I'll get
do
the
you
dog.
Do you notice he hasn't moved into my space with all that? That's good. Would you agree? No, I only. Yeah, go on.
No, that's really telling, isn't it? Look at all, that's a pack of dogs that roam around over the fields, and it can be a nightmare, actually, those dogs, Andrew was telling me. And Pinto is not bothered at all, is he, by animals, by anything? I mean, that's a lot of noise there. Didn't show any concern at all. It's people that, this is a product of a cause. It's people that have caused this. That shows it up right there.
Oh, he's shouting.
Now he's shouting.
There's a man shouting.
Yeah, this is, you know the story with this one. It was road raced, and it's had a bad rap.
Had a bad
They're not
beginning.
this nervous of people
Yeah.
off the bat like that. It's a symptom of something, so you never really get to the bottom of it. But yeah, this is a rescue from human
Human behavior.
human abuse. There, look, tell you right there. I've just tapped him a little bit to say you're all right. Don't lose, because what happens is if he gets too frightened, I have to let him move his feet. If he really gets frightened, he wasn't too frightened, so he came away from my connection. The next thing's there. Now I'm going to just do that. Now he's back. No, not forward. Thank you. No, stay with me. Stay with me there. So the more you can stay connected, the less likely his ear goes, his nose goes, then the toes goes. So it's keeping a connection that stops these going. And that's what a lot of people, they're talking to people, they lose connection and the horse, drags them off. Or gets concerned about something else. So I try and keep a connection unless he gets so worried that a horse has to move. You have to recognise that. But I've got him still now. Look, 3 bumps and quits at the right time. I don't want to do too much till Angela comes back. And it's unfortunate that because we're here for Mr. Big, that I couldn't have a couple of days with him, because it would set him on a new path. But I'm just going to assess him for Angela. And I think I've noticed already there's quite a big problem in that eye,
Yeah. Huge.
you know? So,
But immediately when you tried to go over there, he moved around to
Oh,
keep
he's-
you in that.
and
in
this
that
is what's
left eye.
missed, and I only notice it because I've done so many horses. He's arranging himself to say, please don't go there. And it's so evident here. Are you with me? So, that's all right. You okay now? So, I've just got his attention a few times and explained that because what can happen a lot is, oh, we thought you brought in grain. When their heads go and they look elsewhere, what's actually happened is that you'll notice the ear goes first, then the nose goes, and pretty soon the toes goes. So unless he's really frightened, then you have to no one can stop a horse's innate response to have to move if it's frightened. They can't stop themselves. Like a heavy spook. A horse, people try to call some heavy spookers or bolting horses stupid horse. The horse has the way their brain works, and the only thing that's kept them alive for millions of years is having an innate response that they have to move. Like if we put a hand on a red hot cooker, our hand will suddenly move. My brain hasn't told that hand to go. It's an innate response. We couldn't stop that. Like, do you know what the knee jerk is that you can get someone to do? I'm brilliant at it. You can't stop it, and that's how a horse spooks. When it has to. That's what keeps it alive. It doesn't even compute it. It's an innate response. So if they're that frightened, you'll never stop them. You'll never stop them spooking. But if they're not that frightened, you can keep their attention. Say, no, stay with me. I'm all you need eventually. I'm all you need. So I'm going to attempt now to walk round on the other eye. Okay, so look what he's just told me. So you being aware of that is going to help you more than anything else. So I would do everything that side. I would groom him that side. I would lead. I would put the halter eventually. You did say, quite rightly, you don't like to leave your halters on. They're so dangerous to leave on. Unfortunately for Mr. Big, he's got to stay on. Else you'll never. So with him, that's why I wanted to put 2 halters on. You might find another little halter as a backup to go over that one, because he could rub it off. So I would do that if I was you. As you go on, I'd put another one on the top of that.
Okay.
If it's a thinner makeshift one, it won't be uncomfortable. But him, I would start catching him that side, leading him that side, being awfully nice to him on that side, which is not hard for you anyway. But I would also, to top it off, because it's going to be difficult to get him really good on that side, I would lunge him or work him primarily on that side and let him rest. His rest is with you on the other side. So he starts favouring. And when you get him coming in and hooking on and he deliberately puts you in the other eye, you know you're getting somewhere. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Work him. Don't work him on that other side. Eventually you'll start getting a favour on that side then. But it's, you remember what I was talking about yesterday with the lowering of the head? That caused that problem. But does that make sense then? So I think that's going to help you. Right, so can I disengage his hindquarters? So I'm going to look at them here.
Yep.
And what he's doing there,
Oh, there you go.
he's stepping. Can you see him stepping?
Yeah.
Okay, and he stepped there. He doesn't want to give his hindquarters up. So I'm going to wait till he does a couple of nice there. So what he was doing then, now remember it's going to be worse on the other side, because the other side, he don't even want me there. Now what a horse does, what I've found is, a lot of the wild horses I go to in the UK, they'll step for ages. They will not. You've crossed your legs. What could you do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
There's no flight there.
There's no flight there. And that period of time that you have to arrange and then set to go, you've been eaten. That lion has got you.
Yes.
That's why a horse will, they need
Yeah.
power of flight instantly. And that's why I say to people, if you've got a real good rein back, good enough that you're not going to ruin your mouth trying to get a horse back. If a horse bulks and you really don't want to get off, because some people have trouble getting back on and stuff. I tend to, where I'm at now, I don't get into a fight so much. I get off nowadays. I get off and walk past the problem if there is. But if I've got a real good rein back, a horse will back to a problem 10 times as easy as going forward. And I spoke to a couple of guys about it in depth. And what I've come up with, the reason is, and I think I'm pretty sure good on this. If there's a problem here, horse bulks, and the more you push, the more worried they get, and then you score, and they might rear and all. They get eaten in the split seconds it takes to set back a horse. For a horse to turn, it has to do several things. It's got to shift its weight back, right? So it's got to shift the weight back. It's got to turn. It's got to reach. It's got to then have its hindquarters to push off. That's where they're done. So if they're going along, so they don't feel confident going forward, they know to get away from that, there's a delay in turning. There's no delay like that. There's no delay. So they are ready, and usually the collection is incredible as you're backing up to something they don't want, because they put their hindquarters underneath, they're sprung ready. And a horse knows it hasn't got any delay. So I've used it on my own horses often, and the best way I can describe it for Nita, who used to do anything I asked until I moved to Spain with her, and there's thousands of goats in Spain. Have you been to Spain? Have you heard the bells of with the goats? How many, Tanya? Thousands of these things you come across. And I was so embarrassed one day. I was with some guys, expats, Englishmen. There's more men riding horses in Spain than there are women. In England, it's completely reversed. There's hardly any guys, really. And I was with these chaps, you know, look at my horse, you know, look at me and Nita. And we come across the goats, and their horses went on, and there's Nita blowing like a dragon. And there's always two shepherds, and they're looking at me like, I'm thinking, oh no. And no matter how much whatever horseman I thought I was, Nita was telling me, Stephen, I'm not going, you will get hurt because I can't go. What do? I got the best rein. She would rein back as quick as she trotted forward in diagonals. That's when you've got a good rein back, when it's diagonal like a trot. So I backed her in then, and I'd recovered myself, and we backed halfway through the herd. She was worried, but she reined back. We got halfway, so it was like, didn't matter which way we went then, and I turned her and we went, and the shepherds were there going, yo. And every time we came to it, and there was lots of these herds, every time we came to them, to those bells and those goats, Nita did it herself.
Oh, she did it.
How about that? But it's a good thing to know. I mean, I will back a horse now, but you've got to have a good rein back, because a lot of people don't concentrate on the rein back, and they're pulling them back and they're hollowing, and you're not going to get it. So, okay, so we'll go for that again now. So, I'm looking at these feet. Yes, yes, no, yeah, no. So I'm going to keep doing this now until I get a. So I would concentrate. It's going to help him so much. See him stepping.
Mm-hmm.
So stepping's not great. So oh no, go again. There. This is great for people to see that he will not give up his hindquarters. He is ready to go. There, he did one. Did you see the one? So that's something you can work on, honestly, quietly on your own. Both sides, you want a constant disengage, because he's engaged, ready. He's not giving up anything. I think that's going to help you. But this won't be a 5-minute thing for you. You gradually, till you could say, send me a video and say, Steve, disengaging beautifully both sides. His mental attitude will completely, that's telling you everything you need to know. He's not ready to ride, he's not ready to catch really. But, right, do you want me to see what we got the other side?
Yep.
Because of my limited time, if it's too bad, that's going to be left with you to gradually do. Okay, as I said, we haven't even got it good this side. So, I'm going to come this side. He said again, no, I'm going to force the issue. Now he's really worried. Okay, now. So, there, I had a little one, but that's better than I actually thought it would be. So, has that answered a couple of questions for you to work on? Right, but look at the feet. He's been so used to people.
Yeah, there was an absolute rigidness to Pinto there, and you know, it's not just the disengage, it's not just the crossing over at the back. There has to be a quality and a peacefulness to it, where you really start to get somewhere where they're not only disengaging constantly, There's a bend in the rib cage. There's a quietness to them as they're doing it, and they let go of everything. So it's not just that little crossover. You know, sometimes that's just mechanics of where the legs are. It's got to be a mentally acceptance and a peacefulness to that disengaging. But that was golden there to be able to see that.
Looking at him, in whatever way they are, we would look at their heads. Okay, so I'm looking at his feet. Can we send that left foot back? Yes, we can. And you see how I just drop off there? Can we send the right foot back? Yes, you can. So I would do lots of that. Forward with the right foot. Yes. Right, left. Send the left back, right back, left back. Now you see how he's not quite so worried already. He's thinking, hang on. Is it just, yeah. So now I'm going to ask for a foot forward. So I'm going from neutral, talking to you, meaning nothing other than I'm connected. Oh, he's well connected to me now. Look at him looking at me. Right, now look, difference. Can you go forward? Can you go forward? Yes, a little bit. Go forward. I'll just keep this going. Not into my space, but forward. There. Did one step, but I'd like a bit more.
Oh, lovely. He's petrified.
He knows
isn't
about ropes.
Shame.
Oh, he's scared to death. But that's...
There he goes.
There we go.
Yeah, you step forward.
Very good.
Once these horses realise they're not in trouble, which takes a few sessions, then it just changes. Right, so I'm neutral. Now, can you go forward? Can you go forward with them feet? Now, he doesn't want to go forward here because he doesn't want to expose his butt. That's what this is. He doesn't want to expose that butt to me. He thought forward there. Come on. Not towards me.
Now, even with a horse as nervous as Pinto here, watch that left foot. That left foot then came towards me, and I said no. And that will actually give him confidence if I do it in a quality way, with no aggression and no looking at him in a way that I'm aggressive. And that's a good little point to make there. Has he thought he'd come into me? Maybe I would stop if he came into me, and I didn't, and I picked him up on that. I think that's really good to see that.
This is where a flag can come in real useful. I don't want to terrorise him with a flag, but do you want me to just try it?
Sure.
Right, we left them up there.
I think
There's one in your pocket.
Oh, I've got one.
I was thinking,
You've always got to carry,
Just like,
just like your horsemanship string, you've always got to carry one of these in your pocket. Right.
Guys, anything we use, like these flags, strings, halters, everything that I use, James puts in on Shopify. So there'll be a link on the video so you can get anything that I use. Most of it we make ourselves to a certain specification. So yeah, check Shopify.
So, look, I'm going to tell you, he might completely freak here. If he does, I'd try and just take no notice of him till he stopped his feet. But how are we with that?
no, not bad at all.
Not bad.
Really good. Okay. Now also getting the horse to follow it sometimes gets them to start on it. Not as bad as I imagined, would
No,
you?
no.
I would guess that if you came towards him with it, you might get different.
Oh, I know that. Right, so we're going to see if this can help now with the forward motion. But the more he got used to knowing that he has the power to get rid of that flag when he does what I want with his feet. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, can you go forward? I'm going to look behind him.
He's going.
He went forward a step. So he'll soon realise he can get rid of this.
By moving
This is
forward.
just information to him. Okay, so now look at my arm. Can you go forward? You can. Then it's gone. Now I might do this. A first session, I'd probably do it now. I might do this 20 times till all I need is my arm. not the flag. Okay, so now, forward. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because if you can get control of his feet, you're going to have a different mindset here. Stop, check the back. You have to wait till he gets unstuck. So you're stuck, you've got to go through with that. Right, can you go? There, good. And forward at 10. There.
Steph's gone to get her jacket, she's cold.
So, we lead in. We lead it. So we lead in. Now we're driving.
So sad.
Now we're leading. So if you did this exercise 50 times, and you only quit when things start getting better, because you start off the next day as good if not better. So gradually, so we're leading. Now my arm goes out. We drive. We lead. So we're leading. We're driving. So this is getting better already in 5 or 6 times. So he leads nice actually. He's leading. Look, I haven't got a death grip, have I? I haven't got a death grip, is what I'm saying.
Nice loose line. Nice loose line.
Yeah, yeah. We'll let him,
Yes, the poop.
I have to deposit something in here.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
So
it.
now we drive him. And he would settle so well. 2 weeks, I would say. He would feel so much better that we are his alpha. He can't put on us. We can lead him. We can drive him. We can drive him. That was a more pleasant feel for that then. That was a pleasant feel.
Looks much more natural.
We can lead him. That was hardly no flag. There was hardly any flag then. So lead, drive him. That was no flag. So that was good. Disengage. He disengaged then for me. Disengage. Bring that. Stop it. Back it up. Good.
It's true.
So, we'll now see if I can get it, because if I can start it off for you, it'd be a lot easier for you in the other eye, because I think he's gonna... Did you notice when you caught him there, what eye he put you in? He went up and down there, and that's his safe spot in that corner. He said, you can only come on that eye.
That's the only side.
There you go. So this is big. Right, okay. So, I'm gonna ask him here, forward with the see? Forward with the feet. So he's having trouble in this eye. Come on. Come on. Come on. Forward with the feet. We've got a search here. Right, we had one forward step then. But see what eyes put me. It's so evident, isn't it? And people go years not knowing about this, and then I'm not going to force that. I'm just going to be here all day with it, but it's big for you. I'm going to lower his head here now.
Now, normally I would have stayed there for an hour to get Pinto used to that flag, me being that side. That is so needed with him, and I would never leave it at that. But we've got to restart with Mr. Big, because we'd had a couple of things happen where we needed to give Mr. Big a break. I needed a break from it. It was very intense with Mr. Big, and we needed to get back to that. So this was supposed to be just evaluation really, and I ended up doing some stuff because I could see it was needed. And yeah, so you wouldn't normally quit there, guys. I had to, but yeah, I'll keep playing.
On the top of the neck, a little squeeze here, which eventually it helps from the saddle if you use 2. because you can go from that. I could do it just with this, but I'll do it there as well and release both at the same time. So a little bit of pressure, a little bit of a squeeze, and a little rock of my hand. Now he might be taking quite a while. Now I had, you might have missed it, I had a 10mm drop.
Yeah, you did.
You know, it's rewarding those little tries. So I'll do it again. He's saying, which way do I go? Sometimes they'll think it's up, so you have to still hold the pressure then if they think it's up. There, I had a little, did you see the little try? Yeah. So I didn't release for his, he tested up again then. He tested there, he had a 2-inch drop. All right. And then that was a 1-inch drop. So I'll give him a second. Oh, and then he brought it down himself a little bit then. Now this is none of what I'm doing. Everything that I'm doing is no nonsense real. It's not cosmic. It's not, people can do this if they practice it enough and understand it. See, he loosened up then. You know, let's see if we're there. That's good. There. And I'm releasing him down now. He's just no pressure. So there. Tell him how good he is. There. I'm releasing both at exactly the same time. There. Tell him how good he is. And I haven't once patted him. I haven't slapped him or patted him. Everything has been a stroke. All right? Everything has been a nice soft stroke. I always think of what Tanya likes. She don't like being... Right, so... And I, again, I could be in a stable and do this. Tanya says, he's still in there. He's still in there doing that head thing.
Why?
But I wait until it's really good.
Why do you do it?
Lowering the head. Because, do you ever see what happens every time he's worried?
What's that goes up?
Way up. Way up. They almost can't be upset when their head's down. It's, I don't know what it is. Certain peered reviews, some say, oh no, it doesn't produce anything. I've observed, remembered and compared so many now. There is something that happens to a horse when you drop their heads low and leave them. There's something happens. Their eyes even change. So this lowering of the head around a human, especially one that's a bit worried, so they can experience being real quiet around you. So I don't know, wait here. What I'm doing is trying to start this up for you so you can continue this when you've got time. You'll see, I'll put a little video of this on and then you'll see what I was doing with it. But you know, a couple of months you could have a totally different animal. Now what I'm going to do now, and this is the dangerous thing I always say people not to do, but he's feeling more gentle to me now. He's just, would you agree? Mm-hmm. Look at him. But that's in this eye. Now you've got to get to a stage where he will feel comfortable enough to drop down with you in the other eye. That wouldn't happen at the moment. I thought it then, and yeah.
And that's all the footage I've got, guys. I think I did about another 5 minutes, and for whatever reason I can't find it. But that was the end of the session. It was just, like I say, it was. I would have loved a couple of days with I've been calling him Pinto. I've just now had a message back from Angela, who runs Spirit Run Equine, and his name is Georgie. His name's Georgie. So yeah, that's it. That video, when you look through that video, there's some real golden nuggets there. I mean, when I look through these videos, I notice stuff as well, and I learn myself. I think we learn till we finished, don't we really? But I learned from them. I think that's a great little video, actually. And yeah, that's the end of the video. So we're
off to dinner.
And we're off to dinner now, guys.
And if you can, guys, we're off to dinner now. But if you can like, share, comment, we read all the comments. Much appreciated. Keeps us going. Thank you so much. Happy trails.
Happy trails, guys. See you soon.